Real talk, what to expect.
Everything, a combination of three. Lack of flavors.
Inspiration, motivation, encouragement.
Encouragement.
Yes, girl.
Don't forget the positivity.
Now that's real talk.
Good evening. Welcome to Real Talk with Charlene, Kim,
And for Rosa, oh, it was a lekker few months. We were on vacation. Hoe het julle gevoel?
definitely.
Ons kan maar sê vacation, hè?
Ja, nee, dit
It's
was.
been a while. Ek het die camera gemis, ek het die viewers gemis.
Yes.
Weet jy van julle nie?
Ja, nee, definitief.
Wat het julle gedoen in hierdie tyd dat toe ons bietjie gerus het?
Ek moet sê, ek het bietjie lekker self-searching gaan doen. En myself en as 'n mens terugkom. Jy weet, 'n mens, ons sit nou hier, ons doen dit vir ons community en ons kom gesels, but it starts by yourself. Ek weet nie hoe sien julle dit nie. So ek het bietjie gaan lees, bietjie gaan research doen. Ons mense gaan research almal. En ek dink dis hoekom ons so lekker terug is met die topic nou wat ons het vir hierdie season. Ek is totally excited for season 2.
Ek is net so excited vir hierdie season.
Natuurlik is ek net so opgewonde ook. Ek moet sê in hierdie tyd wat ons so 'n bietjie weg was,
Yes.
het ek nogals, ek moet sê myself baie trots gemaak. Nadat ek vir 4 jaar die kursus gestudeer het en mense op daai verhoog te loop het by die universiteit.
Baie trots op jou.
Graad gevang het.
Oh my goodness.
I did it! Nie net vir
Well
my nie,
done.
maar vir baie vroue daar buite.
Yes.
Wat moes opstaan, stof afskud en weer hul kop in die lug moes hou.
Yes.
Baie geluk weer eens. vriendin.
Yes,
Baie,
yes.
baie geluk.
En op daai sin met Shay wat vir ons sulke lekker curtains laat roll het. Baie geluk Shay op daai noot. Maar met dit het ons besluit om met season 2 terug te kom vir julle. Ons gaan so 'n bietjie mense ornament. Ons gaan 'n bietjie rose uitdeel. Maar ons gaan nie net rose uitdeel vir ons dames nie. Ek dink Mother's Day is verby vir daai ene. Wat sê julle?
Nee, ek stem saam. Hulle sê gee die rose en erkenning terwyl die persoon lewe.
Dit is
Daar is.
Definitief, ja.
Definitief. So ons kom terug in season 2 in met opwindende mense wat moet herken word wat nog nie herken was nie. As ons so sê, wil ons ook nie glad nie laat enige iemand offended voel nie, maar ons lewens is so besig, ek weet nie, kan julle saam met my stem nie.
Definitief.
Ons kry nie kans om te stop en te sê, luister hier, jy is spesiaal nie. We don't get that chance.
Dit is baie mense kry nie recognition vir dit wat hulle als doen nie.
Presies,
Yes.
presies. Dis wat ek nou wil sê. Ons gee so min erkenning aan diegene wat terugploeg
Ja.
aan die
Yes.
gemeenskap.
Yes.
I mean, really, we're such a beautiful community. It's always easier to highlight all the flaws and mistakes and
ja.
errors of people in our community. But this time around, nee, ons gee net erkenning aan die wat terugploeg.
Precies.
Aan ons se mooi Heidedal hier in Bloemfontein.
Oh yes, oh
Ek
yes.
is tans reeds besig met te werk aan ons projek vir ons funksie wat ons in Julie gaan het. Wat ons ook gaan teruggee aan die gemeenskap. Maar
Baie
ons
goed.
gaan dit nog, ons sal nog meer info gee later oor dit. So ons
Oor
werk
dit.
ook aan iets, ja.
Yes, so season 2 is 'n season wat niemand mag mis nie. Moenie agterbly nie, moenie uitmis nie. Van glo my, wil ek kom hoor. Ek gehoor, ek gesien. Kom sien self.
Einste. So vanaand het ons 'n gas weer eens hierso, ons eerste gas en sy gaan vir ons bietjie kom leiding gee en kennis gee en opleiding sommer ook, want
Ja.
ons weet nie altyd hoe om dinge te hanteer nie. Aangaande GBV.
Yes.
Gender-based violence.
Oh yes, ek dink dit is iets waarmee ons struggle almal. Reg oor die wêreld is dit iets waarmee ons struggle. Ek dink nie ons het regtig, ons kan sê dis iets wat ons môre gaan oorwin nie. Ons gaan hom môre reg kry nie, maar as ons hande vat, dink ek kan ons dit reg kry.
Die hartseer van dit is iets wat al die jare bestaan. Dit bestaan nog steeds en dit gaan altyd daar wees. Ongelukkig is dit 'n regte battle wat gefight sal word altyd, maar is baie hartseer wat gebeur hier buite. Baie hartseer.
Nou ons gas vanaand is nie net by GBV nie, sy het baie vele meer waarop sy doen vir ons community, ons gemeenskap. Sy doen ook volunteerwerk wat sy doen vir ons. En ons gaan nie alles op dit uitbrei vanaand nie, maar wat ek moet sê is, die dame wat saam met ons sit vanaand is iemand wat ek persoonlik baie goed opkyk voor en vat in. Laat ons invat vanaand, laat ons saam met haar hande vat vanaand en luister. En ons moet dit met 'n positief invat en dan, ek dink, Heidedal, Bloemfontein, onze hele gemeenskap. Mense, ons gaan saam staan en ons kan hierdie pad stap.
En die beste wat ek hiervan wil vat is om te leer. Want baie keer weet ons nie hoe om situasies te hanteer nie, of hoe om ons opinie te gee aangaande sekere situasies nie.
Yes.
So, kom ons wees kalm en luister na die persoon wat net weet hoe.
Vanaand kom ons welkom vir Wilma Gatri.
Welkom, Wilma.
Baie dankie dames. Ek is geëerd om vanaand saam met julle te wees. Kim, Charlene en Feroza.
Baie lekker. Welkom Wilma.
Baie dankie.
Wilma, vertel ons 'n bietjie van, geef ons 'n agtergrond van wat jy eintlik doen. Dit is net 'n agtergrond het, dat die viewers net 'n agtergrond kan hê van wat jy als doen.
Goed so. Ek is 'n gender-based violence desk coordinator by die Heidedal polisiestasie. Ek volunteer in die victim friendly room. So in die victim friendly room kom ons gewoonlik teë met baie gender-based violence related issues. En in meeste gevalle is dit wanneer dit nie daar nie regtig 'n saak opgemaak hoef te word nie. Dit is gewoonlik maar net die gewone, kan ons dit maar sê, die wat ons 'n norm gemaak het, wat eintlik 'n groot issue is in die gemeenskap, wat almal affekteer. Jy weet, soos ons affekteer was deur COVID, is gender-based violence dieselfde.
Ja.
Because even if you are not infected with it, but you are affected.
En dit kom al jare.
Dit kom oor die jare en mense het dit maar net onder die tafel gesit en sê
definitief.
omdat daar in sekere families is dit binne in die huis waar dit gebeur en dit word gebruik in 'n verkeerde wyse om dit op te los. Jy weet, daar's altyd oplossings, maar mense wil nie gaan na die regte oplossing toe nie. En wat die hartseer is dat meeste gevalle is die slagoffer wat daar lê.
Sorry dat ek jou in die rede val. Ek het net gehoor, Wilma, gepraat van slagoffers. Baie sake word gerapporteer, né? Die figures waarna ek gekyk het is 10,000, meer as 10,000 en dit kan dalk nou meer is, né? Vir die 6 maande, die korte, die helfte van die jaar van Julie tot September, né? Nee, ek is verkeerd. Ek gaan gou regmaak. As 10,000, maar dit is outomaties meer. Dit is vir die eerste helfte van die jaar, vir die eerste finansiële jaar. Ek is nog geëindig nou. Dit is die syfer wat hulle deurgegee het, maar outomaties is dit meer. Wat ek eintlik wil weet is, sake word gerapporteer, sake word gemaak. Is daar mense wat nie wil sake maak, wat nie wil oopmaak, mense wat nie wil praat daaroor nie. Hoe hanteer hulle sulke situasies? Jy sal seker weet, julle het al seker gesels met mense soos hy. Wat is die rede dat hulle nie die sake wil rapporteer nie en hoe hanteer hulle dit?
Daar's baie faktore om net te begin wat lei dat 'n persoon voel om nie 'n saak op te maak nie. Kyk, mense lees en hoor dat slagoffers, as hulle by die hof kom, dan kry die verdagte miskien 'n ligte vonnis. You weet, but when you were violated, there's no years that can compensate for what was stolen from you through that violation. So ons gaan nie regtig jare toepas as dit kom by straf vonnisse en so aan nie. But women and children are the ones who are the most, and the elderly also.
Yes.
They are the ones who are most vulnerable when coming to gender-based violence. and issues compared to opening cases, you know, because there's a lot of issues that prohibit, I can put it that way, for victims to get justice through the system. But now the justice system has put systems in place to prepare victims, unlike prior, before. So now victims are being prepared. They are taken through the steps. They are taken through the questioning, even in the court. They look at circumstances, whether this is a child. Is this child going to be able to testify in court, or should it be done virtually or through videos and all those kind of factors? So, to be honest, the justice system is really trying. You know, cases are now those backlogs that have been there. They are really trying now to bring justice to victims.
Okay, the figure that I gave now was specifically rape cases. I forgot to mention that. That's what I was actually talking about.
You know, when coming to the figures, let me just answer that.
And it was South Africa, sorry, it was South Africa, you know.
The figures that you're speaking of is actually, it's horrible. Because now, if you were to look at the stats that we had last year when we attended a gender-based violence workshop, it's quite sad because Heidedal was identified as a crime hotspot. Yes.
Wow.
In the whole of Mangaung, Heidedal was the one community that stood out. And as a community member of Heidedal, I was shocked.
Wow.
And it's quite sad because now we live in the community and we do see these things, but we are not reporting. You know, we are not assisting. There's not enough voices.
It's like we turn a blind eye to it.
There's not enough voices to speak on behalf of the voiceless. You know, if we could only have those people that are willing to come and say that, you know, I want to speak on behalf of someone. I saw a situation. Can't I be a relief for that person? You know, we should come out of our comfort zone of being afraid to face matters, because remember, this thing is not just going to affect that child specifically. We also have daughters. You know, we are going to be grandmothers at some point.
I want to come in there, Wilma. When you say we also have daughters, né? What about our boys? What about our men? I think they also suffer as much, but the concentration is so on our girls and our females that we forget about them. And nowadays we have so much
also victims.
depression. All of the men. It is shocking how much man is suffering from depression. So I want to know what happens to our boys. I mean, young boys. They also get raped, like Kim just said. They also get raped. There's a lot of things, man.
Before you answer that, sorry, I just also want to just add on that. I know that, and it happens in our community as well, in our family as well, that wanneer ma en pa naweke lekker gekuier het en hulle raak nou lekker getrek, dan begin daar sommer 'n bekleierery en pa slaan vir ma en die kinders moet nou kyk hoe gebeur die dinge. Hulle die emosies wat daarmee gepaard gaan vir die kinders, dogtertjies of seentjies. Ma moet maandag werk toe gaan met 'n blou oog. Jy weet make-up kan nie altyd daai oog cover nie. En is daar 'n hulplyn of 'n plek vir Heidedal? Hoe kan ons by sulke kinders uitkom? Hoe kan ons sulke kinders help? Die rede hoekom ek dit vra is so baie mense raak maar gebroke groot. En dan val jy ook net in 'n huwelik in en dink ag, dit is maar hoe dit moet gedoen word. En dit is so maklik vir ander om byvoorbeeld te sê dat jy word elke naweek geslaan, maar jy kom nie uit daai huwelik uit of jy kom nie uit daai huis uit nie. Dis nie so maklik nie. Wat hulp is daar vir daai kinders eerstens om hulle te help? En my concern is net die kinders, want om daai aan te dra met jou soos jy groot word, iewers moet ons begin fokus op die kinders om hy broken souls te heal.
Ja, dit is so waar en dit is baie hartseer. Ek dink so 3 jaar terug het ek 'n insident gehad waar 'n moeder kom rapporteer het oor haar kind se gedrag by die skool. En jy weet, as jy begin die screening doen rondom die familie, dan kan jy agterkom waar die probleem eintlik lê.
Yes.
En net om te kom uitvind, die kind het 'n diepte wat leeg was. En hy het dit gevul om ander kinders aan te val by die skool. En hy het begin nou 'n boelie raak by die skool en dit was nou problematies by die skool. En toe ek nou die familie interview individueel saam met die kind ingesluit, kon ek agterkom die kind het 'n insident aanskou waar sy pa sy ma gesteek het in die nek met 'n bottelkop. En daai kind moes sy bloeiende ma halfpad vat om Pelenomi toe wanneer hulle bly daar naby. En hy moes deur al daai emosies gaan op 'n klein ouderdom van 10 jaar. En hy moes 'n rol aanneem om nou sy ma se bodyguard te wees. Want hy het nou al geweet dat as dit Vrydag is, dan gaan sy pa nou die huis oproerig kom maak. En hy moes nou begin opstaan vir sy ma. En op 'n 10-jarige ouderdom is hy maar nog 'n seentjie. Jy weet, hy is nog 'n seentjie, hy moet nog na omgesien word, hy moet nog na versorg word. En hy moes nou 'n man wees vir teenoor sy pa, wat eintlik vir hom nog moes gelei het.
Beskerm
wat
hom
hom
lei en
wat-
guide.
jy weet,
En dit gee 'n kind outomaties anxiety, jy lewe in vrees en soos jy groter word, is gebeur daar baie goed in die kind se lewe of hoe die kind optree as gevolg van dit. Dit is eintlik baie
As
hartseer.
baie sê vir my Wilma, in so 'n geval, waar pas julle in?
In so 'n geval waar ons inpas is om family counselling toe te pas.
Okay.
En omdat ek nou by die polisiestasie is, doen ek verwysings baie. So jy kry organisasies soos FAMSA wat dit doen. En as die probleem dan maatskaplike werkers per se nodig het, dan gaan ons Childline kontak. Ons het hier in Heidedal het ons Childline daaronder in Ashbury op die hoek van Parrish daar voor die parkie. Hulle is daar en hulle noodnommer is 116. Dit is baie belangrik vir elke persoon om my nommer te ken. 116.
116 op jouself.
Dis Childline. Ja, dis 'n free nommer wat enige persoon kan, as jy aanskou daar is 'n kind wat mishandel word, asseblief doen dit vir die kind se omhalwe. Jy weet, vir veiligheid vir hy kind. Want dit is so traumaties om so groot te word in sulke omstandighede. Jy weet, dit is nie gesond vir 'n gemeenskap om sulke kinders te hê nie. Want hierdie kinders begin problematies raak by die skool. En dan verstaan die ouers nie waaroor dit gaan, maar eintlik begin dit by die huis.
Sê vir my Wilma, ek is 'n neighbor en nou gebeur daar nou iets langs aan my en dis bekleierery. Ek sien die omstandighede miskien nou, dis bekleierery en die kinders is nie lekker nie. Dit is net horrible. Ek maak nou 'n voorbeeld. En ek voel ek stap nou aan en ek skakel vir julle. Gebeur daar enige iets aan die saak en as die persoon wat nou die aanval kry nou nie 'n saak maak nie of enigiets, gaan daar enigiets aan die saak gebeur as ek as die neighbor of die volgende persoon dit nou rapporteer?
Jy weet wat gewoonlik gebeur is dat as so 'n insident rapporteer word, probeer ons so meer as moontlik diskreet te wees. Jy weet, vir die onhalwe van die kind en vir die persoon wat kom rapporteer. Want wat gebeur is dat daar is maatskaplike werkers wat gaan oorneem. Jy weet, wat die kind, as hulle voel dat dit is onveilig vir die kind om daar te bly, dan gaan hulle die kind vat, hulle doen 'n screening, hulle vra rondom die situasie, die neighbors vra hulle nou, hulle interview hulle en vra vir hulle wat gaan aan by die gesin, jy weet. En dus hoe ons report compile om te sê, okay, die is die omstandighede van die kind, dit is nie veilig vir die kind nie.
As ek nou reg is, wat Wilma nou vir ons sê is, ons as neighbors, skakel 116. As jy agterkom, dinge is nie lekker nie, wat vir al die kinders kan affekteer. Kom ons vat hande in hierdie verband en gee net om, in plaas van op social media die goed gaan post om ek weet nie om wat te kry daar uit nie, maar kom ons vat hande en doen net wat ons moet doen om daai kind te help En so kan die ma ook dan gehelp word of die pa gehelp word, want ons moet ook net in ag neem dat dis nie net vroue en kinders en die elderly wat abused word nie, ons mans ook.
Definitief.
En ons hoor so min van die mans, want
Yes,
is nie altyd wel maklik om te praat nie, maar ons moet net nie dit ook vergeet
Ja,
nie.
veral mans. Wat ek agtergekom het, mans kan nie maklik oopmaak nie.
They can't.
Ek het die naweek 'n insident gehad van iemand wat man, ek het die oggend geslaap, jy weet wat jy hoor, iemand skel en gaan te kere buite en ek skrik toe wakker en outomaties toe ek nou hoor wat hy sê, die enigste ding wat ek kon gehoor het wat so aan my gevat het is niemand worry van my, niemand gee om vir my nie. Dit het my so geraak, nee, want jy sê die is 'n jong seun. Wat maak dat hy so sê? Wat gaan in sy lewe aan? Wat se leemte is daar wat nie geval is nie? Wat is dit? Wat met wie kan hy dalk met iemand praat? Met wie kan hy praat? Onthou, mense maak nie hulle self maklik oop nie. So jy kan ook nie maklik net iemand approach nie, verstaan jy? So as hulle nie oopmaak nie, en soms as jy mense approach, voel hulle offended oor wie het vir jou gesê daar's iets fout met my of so, en dit gaan nie daaroor nie. Soms gee 'n mens om en soms wil 'n mens help. 'n Mens wil regtig help. Mense moet begin praat.
Definitief. Wie wil, maar daar's nog ietsie wat ek so 'n bietjie clarity opsoek, né? Gewoonlik, ek dink daar's baie van ons viewers wat ook nou daar sit. Nie almal is regtig educated op GBV nie. Regtig. Ons is hier en daar, vat ons 'n stukkie en glo my, ons hardloop oor hy stukkie wat jy ken. Jy gaan net met hy stukkie. Ek gaan nou regtig nou hierdie enetjie opbring. Hulle het gewoonlik hierdie ding wat hulle November maand, die van November maand af, raak my 60 days. Of is it 30 days? 16, sorry, pardon me. 16 days, raak my 16 days. Ek wil hê jy moet bietjie vir ons uitbrei daarop. Laat mense lekker clarity kry op dat hulle verstaan hom nie regtig nie.
Ja, eintlik.
So dat ons eintlik laat verduidelik ons waaroor gaan die 16 dae.
16 days of no violence against women and children is celebrated once a year.
Yes.
But the problem is so big that it's 365 days.
I was about to say that.
So we can never
Definitief.
take those 10 days and say that all gender-based violence related matters will be resolved.
Yes.
Is it? So it's just a campaign that now focuses more on gender-based violence matters. Now, everybody, the police, the justice system is specifically focusing on those cases or matters that are to be reported during those 10 days. Yes. So, but we who are working on the ground, working with people who are suffering from gender-based violence, we deal with matters on a daily basis. We have crisis social workers, who are 24/7. Their availability, like the 116 number of Childline, it's a 24/7 number. It's all year. Every time you need help, they are available. It's a center that is specifically just, basically for children who have those needs. Now you speak about the ladies. The ladies who are misusing that time, go and get protection order for their own selfish reasons. Times have changed, unfortunately. The justice system has realized that women are doing those things because now they have their own personal issues that they want to divert from actually the real act of gender-based violence. Now, women can get arrested for that. Once they find out that you are misusing it, you will definitely get arrested.
Can I please just ask you to repeat that?
Thank
So
you.
that those there at the back can also just hear that phrase.
No, women must be careful. There must be real evidence when they apply for a protection order. Because once the police find out, they're not just going to throw out the matter. You will definitely face the long arm of the law. You will get sentenced because now government resources were used to try and assist you.
Yes.
And those factors now are they are very serious about those factors now, because now they've realized that people are playing, you know, they don't take into account. There are women who really need that service.
Exactly.
But now, because of we have this small percentage that drop in the ocean that really want to mess this wonderful opportunity that was created for women who are suffering. You know, we need to educate one another, because an educated nation is an empowered nation.
Oh yes.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes,
Wilma,
definitely.
weet jy, dis hartseer wat gebeur nou. Dinge het so drasties verander. Niemand is meer veilig as 'n vrou, as 'n man, kinders. Jy moet letterlik so vigilant is rondom jou. Jy moet al ewig. Jy kan nie vry na 'n plek toe gaan, iemand koop vir jou 'n drankie en dan drink jy die drankie. Kom met 'n oop glas drankie. Iemand wat vir jou 'n drankie stuur of seker vir jou 'n drankie gekoop nie. Jy weet nie of jy dit kan, of jy die persoon kan vertrou nie, want wat gebeur deesdae? Verstaan jy? Daar gebeur soveel snaakse dinge. En dit is wat ek my meisie baie educate oor wat buite aangaan. En sy sit met baie vrae en dan sê sy my nou hoekom? Weet mens my kinders is mos baie nuuskierig. Te weet hoekom sê jy 1 2 3 4. Ek brei uit, ek is oop met haar, ek is eerlik met haar. Ons moet met hulle praat. Ons moet ons kinders educate. Verstaan jy?
Definitief, ja.
Wat hier buite aangaan, ons meisies, daar's so baie van ons meisies wat rondloop hier buite, wat hulle se lewe letterlik weggooi, wat niks met hulle lewe doen nie.
Weet jy, Kima, ek gaan nou moet inkom by jou daar, you know. Ons het altyd gesê, it's as die mense wat nie educated is, who goes on this drugs, who word abused, allerlei klomp goede, but the drugs so scary nou, that even the educated ones are the ones, hulle is die mense wat getarget word. As ek het baie mooi, kyk, ek weet nie Wilma, het jy al so experience nou in die tyd en gehad nie, but dit is daar, waar het meestal nou daar vir my ook, soos ek dit sien
Almal
gebeur.
is deze, hulle kenige mens wat hulle kan, wat vatbaar is, wat hulle sien.
Yes.
Okay, hulle gee dit 'n try, ons gaan denetjie try. Dit gebeur met enigiemand.
Enige ene.
Dit kan 'n adult is, dit kan 'n laerskoolkind is, hoeveel mense gebruik dit dan nou, verstaan jy?
You know, when we attended the gender-based violence workshop, statistics were shared with us of drug users. Now, when we come to the category of the age groups, you will be shocked that there were children as young as 6 years.
Yes.
6 years who were identified, yes. 6 years who were identified using drugs. And I'm talking about serious drugs. I'm not talking about dacha, the normal one. I'm talking about serious drugs.
En probeer jy nou vir daai kind sê, wat doen jy? Daai kind gaan vir jou vertel, 'n vloek as hy kan.
You know, we being on the ground, there are certain mechanisms, I don't know, should I put it that way, that sometimes we would go, or let me say last year we went, all the stakeholders that we work with, we went on community outreach. And when we went for the community outreach, we spoke to a certain principal of a school, a primary school. And there is a problem because the boys has to be tested for drugs. And now it totally shifts the running of the school because now
And the focus.
The principal has to be worried about boys be using drugs because now on their way to school they meet up with these ones on the corners and the other ones they gooi hulle stompies daar, die kinders tel op en jy weet dit is maar die issues wat ons met deel by die skole en die polisie kan nie elke dag die polisieering doen. Jy weet ouers moet begin intree. Jy weet groepe stig en bietjie gaan monitor by die skole.
Yes, true.
Gaan monitor by die skole want die onderwysers het net soveel mag want soveel regte het ook nou 'n rol begin speel.
Nou, maar weet jy wat, is goed dat jy dit noem. Weet jy, en ek wil nie, dalk nie met almal nie, maar dan daar is sommige ouers wat wel sukkel, wat jy kan nie eens jou kind approach nie, want jou kind is
Hulle is bang.
Ek dink baie ouers deel nou met dit.
Jy het dit reg.
Baie ouers deel met dit. Ek het ook kinders.
Yes,
Daar sta jy wat, soms weet jy nie, hoe om met jou, ek het 'n seun byvoorbeeld, hy is groot en so. Ek is nie skaam om oor te praat nie, my seun het, ek het soms nie, weet ek nie hoe om te approach nie, want jy weet, soms dink kinders, hulle is so eie-wys, hulle ken alles, en weet jy, soms voel ek los my nou net. Ek het al regtig baie keer probeer help, so, want hy is iemand wat nogal baie opstandig geraak en so, en hy doen maar sy eie ding. Maar ek dink wat dit ook inkom, ek weet nie, dit kan wees, hy het 'n pa, sy pa bly nie in Bloemfontein nie, ek maak hom al die jare alleen groot. Hy het 'n verhouding met sy pa, maar ook nie regtig nie. Verstaan nie wat ek sê? So, ek dink hy sit ook met baie
Seer.
Hy sit met baie seer.
Ja, kyk, dit is altyd 'n probleem vir 'n enkel ouer. Maar dit is nie net by enkel ouers nie. Daar's ander ouers wat nie weet, kyk, parenting skills is nie iets wat jy sommer net, ja, dit kom nie met 'n manual nie. Daar gaan nie vir jou 'n boek gegee word, daar gaan nie geboorte gegee word en sê, kyk, dis nou die, jy weet, dis die resep. Daar is nie, ongelukkig is daar nie 'n resep nie. En mense vind dit soms moeilik. Kyk, dit hang ook af van 'n persoonlikheid van 'n ouer. Jy weet, as jy daai ouer wat oop is, wat gemaklik kan gesels met sy kinders, en soms is dit ook 'n oorsaak dat die kinders het nie iemand om, jy weet, na toe te gaan, want mamma is altyd so ernstig, of papa is ook so ernstig, en jy weet, soms is dit die geval. Ek sal nou nie sê dit is almal wat so is nie.
Wat ek nou net vir jou wil noem, is wat vir my so snaaks is, ek het die wonderlikste verhouding met my dogter, ons is baie oop met mekaar. Sy is wel 'n moeilike kind, ons mammas het nie mekaar verstaan nie, maar ek praat baie met haar. Sy maak baie oop met my, en ons praat regtig. Ek is 'n oop mens, ek is regtig, my seun wil nie, hy laat my nie toe om daar te wees vir hom nie. So weet jy, verstaan jy?
Jy weet, dit is moeilik. Seuns, boys relate to men. I can put it that way. And it's best om iemand te kry wat hom gaan sy hand vashou en met hom loop, wat hy mee gemaklik gaan wees. Want you can never be a mother and also play a fatherly role. Unfortunately, we have got that concept very wrong. We want to play double plug. It doesn't work. You are a woman. You know women issues. You only know men issues to this far.
To this far.
Beyond, you don't know.
Thank you.
You know, that's a man's role.
Thank you.
If it's a boy, he knows that
that's what I told
that's the issues. You don't even know what's happening in a boy's body. You know, the changes that takes place in his body. But you want to play this double plug as Father's Day. And say once, Happy Father's Day to me. No ways, women, stop it. You must stop it.
But that's what I told his father. I told his father, remember, he's now an adult. He's a man. And unfortunately,
He needs a man.
I can't take it from here any further. It's your duty now to jump in and do your fatherly duty.
It's very true. You know, men, we need to have these men, these mentors. You know, not just fathers, but mentors. Because that's what's needed. Boys need mentors.
Thank you.
See,
they
Kima,
need people
what Wilma is actually saying is you need a mentor. You need to get a mentor. You need to get a mentor, girl.
Can you just repeat that word? A mentor.
Yes.
The saying goes that it takes a village to raise a child. So I think maybe in such cases that family members, I mean, you have cousins, uncles, I mean, sometimes we must just get back to that and just reach out to each other. Just to assist each other.
It's very true. You know, I had an incident about a woman also, my cases are Hedendal related.
Yeah.
So I'll speak about my community people,
Yes,
the
please
issues
feel
that they are
free.
facing,
Yeah.
that are going.
Yes.
So unfortunately, this woman is a single mother. She separated with the father of her boy, who was 9 years at the time. So they were staying at some place, and when we were contacted by neighbors actually to say that the boy is always looking out of the window and he might just hurt himself and so on. So then we went there. Upon arrival, we found the boy alone, locked up inside. There were cables running on the floor. It was really not a safe environment for the child to stay in. But now, the mother is a single mother, is a single parent. She had to go to work. We understand those issues. But the thing is, that's a violation of the child's rights. The child cannot be locked up, And upon interviewing the lady, because now we had to go and fetch her at work and to bring her home to say, but, this is not the right situation. Isn't there neighbors that you can at least leave the boy until you get back from work? And then, we got issues that the boy is naughty and, neighbors don't want anything, no family members, nothing, So then, unfortunately, I had to remove the boy.
From the mother.
From the mother for safety reasons, And we called in family members. The grandfather is there. There's an aunt of the lady who was there, but nobody wanted to take responsibility of sharing. At least sharing,
The responsibility.
just share the responsibility to take on to say that, okay, these 8 hours that you're working or 12, I'll look after your boy. When you get back home, you take your child, you go with him. So that's a real family issue. It's heartbreaking because now the mother had to lose her child because of she couldn't cope.
And she had to work.
She had to work because now how is she
How
going
are they
to
going
take
to
care?
survive?
Exactly. How is she going to take care of her child? But we give second chances. We give options. Fortunately, the care that the boy was getting was Monday to Friday, so weekends she's able to get her boy. So arrangements are made. It's not, we don't just throw people for the sharks. We also want rehabilitation in everything that we try to do, the help that the intervention, that we provide for people, because people always have this fear of, they will take my child away. How will I raise my child? But we look at the situation of a child.
Yes.
Are we violating the rights of the child? Now, recently I had a very, very strange incident. And it was about 2 weeks back. Then I was contacted by the clinic to say that there's a young girl, a child, I can put it that way, she was still primary level. Now, this child was diagnosed HIV positive 2017.
Okay.
And ARVs were administered to her then, 2017.
How old was the child? Sorry.
The child was 7 at the time. So she is under the care of a guardian because now the nursing staff couldn't locate her mother because the mother is working somewhere and the mother doesn't come home. So now the clinic did not administer because now the results are only supposed to be given to the mother. So they couldn't administer. So now this child has become sick, like very, very sick. And they contacted me and the nurses were really worried what is going to happen with the child. And
Wilma, jy het 'n groot rol in Heidedal.
Yes, like
het is
it.
so maklik soos wat dit lyk nie, Charlene. Dit is scary at times for myself because we come across these cases. But now, for the child's sake, we had to do something. So I had to contact social workers, the managers, and just request what do we do in a situation like this. And the social worker was actually flabbergasted. She was angry at the nursing staff for not doing the right thing of taking into consideration the child's rights, which is Section 21 of the Children's Act of 38, 2005. So the social worker said, you know what, everybody who knows about this case can be arrested.
Sure.
And we had to act because now the child's health and life was at stake because we are not informed. Let me put it that way.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
we are not informed about children's rights, children's act. That's why when we see a matter in the community, even when we see a child that is being abused, we don't go and report because now we don't know that by seeing that already you are guilty because now you are not reporting. So if only we knew those rights, we would really take care of our children outside, whether it's your blood child or not. You would really do something because that's what we need in our community. We need a healthy community. We cannot raise children in such circumstances.
Sê vir my Wilma, as jy nou so praat van ons sien nie altyd die signs nie. Ek dink daar's baie van ons viewers wat ook daar sit wat ook nie weet hoe om die signs te kyk nie. Kan jy miskien net lig eens ons tik daarop wat moet ons kyk na as ons so iets sien wat nou like wat is die signs? Kom ek sê so.
You know what? There's not really a specific sign that you would say, okay, no, when you see this one, it's abuse. But I think instinct would kick in to say, but would I allow my child to be treated in that way?
Sure. True.
Or I think if you have a conversation with a child, you will pick up.
Definitely. You know, you will definitely pick up. It's so easy even when parents bring their children to my office to say that this child is problematic. I had an incident of a girl at Gatfo. She was 11 years old. And this girl, she was problematic. She came late in the house. After 10 p.m., she's not at home. And her mother came and she came to me and said, no, this child doesn't listen to me. She's still late and everything. And I interviewed the child and I asked her, but baby girl, just explain to me what's happening at home. And she's like, no, my mother leaves me alone at night. She goes to her boyfriend. So, you know, the mother did not even expect that would be the response. Because that's reality. You know, the child felt unsafe at night for a girl child who's 11 who is supposed to sleep alone at night with the other siblings in the house. Whereas the mother is going to visit her boyfriend and leaves the children. You know, so we underestimate even the intelligence of children as young as they are. They can sense. They can sense their unsafe environment, you know. And you just take it that, no, I've locked the door. It's fine. But the children are traumatized because they watch TV, they see, they hear about violation, and now they live in that, you know, anticipation, that small thing. Will something happen to me? You know, we live in a community whereby we hear that, no, the next street, there was a robbery. Or the next street, somebody was murdered in their house. Or raped for that matter. So we're raising our children even in circumstances whereby we are violating our own children by doing such actions.
Wilma, het julle al 'n geval gehad of gevalle gehad waar hoekom mense stil bly as dit met hulle gedreig word of het julle al sulke gevalle gehad?
Last week I had an incident of a girl that was raped, but because she was on drugs and she was unsure and she was afraid again to report the matter because we were called to the scene, but when we arrived there she said, no, I can't open a case because I don't have details, I can't remember. You understand? So that's the sad thing. That's now where this cases that, you know, you really want to help somebody because we were there. We wanted to assist. We wanted to help. We reached out to her. So how many incidents are there that we don't know of? That's exactly like that one. Our hands are totally tied behind our backs because now the victim has to open a case. Unfortunately, yes. So these are there's a lot of incidents. You know, when you speak of gender-based violence, it's so diverse, it's big, it's vast. It's very, very big. It's something that it cannot be contained in a container and say, no, this is a box of gender-based violence, this is what we are dealing with. No, it's fine when we put it there, we'll pick it up again November. No, unfortunately, it's something, you know, it's something that we need to stand up. We need to stand up and say that, let us be the voice. Let this be a case. This be an incident like a COVID was treated. Let gender-based violence be the same way, the
exactly.
same care, the same service that was provided. You know, it should be the same. We should not underestimate its severity van dit. Dit is groot.
En saam
dit is
staan.
en saam staan. Ons moenie mekaar judge nie. Once somebody is going through something, there's no we cannot you know, take it in a way that no, that person deserves it. Nobody deserves that violence. You know, nobody, niemand verdient enige slechte behandeling. Ja.
Wow, Wilma, ek moet sê, vanaand is dit 'n baie eye-opening vir ons. Ons het, yesie,
Dit maak 'n mens gewoon emotional,
ek is baie emotional, ek is geskok. Ek het baie, ek moet sê, en baie educated tonight.
Ja.
Regtig, ek het baie geleer. Ons dink ons hoor die woord, maar ons weet nie regtig nie. So when somebody defines it for us, it's much better. And thank you, I think you just did that tonight for us. En ons gaan op ons hulp, ons het hulplyne, jy gaan vir ons help net, Wilma, ek weet nie kan mense vir jou kontak ook. As hulle nou dalk ietsie persoonlik het by die huis en nou nie onmiddellik, kyk, nie almal is so vry nie. Ek gaan nou met alle respek sê ek dit, dat ons het nie almal die vryheid om polisiestasie toe te gaan as jy nou iets oorgekom dit, of partykeer moet jy dit inhou, die omstandighede by die huis, hoe jy nou ge-abused word of so nie, but if we have somebody like you in the community which we can call and talk to in person, en ons kan help met dit, dink ek mense kan baie beter doen.
Yes,
En mense, even mense wat bang,
om mee oop te maak.
yes, om net meer oop te maak, maar het is baie goed, ek moet eerstens vir jou congratulate met dit wat jy doen in ons community, Wilma.
Baie dankie.
Dit is baie goed. Ek mag die grote hand van God op jou bly.
Yes.
Om saam met ons te staan in onze community, jy mag nie moeg raak vir dit nie. Jy pas so mooi in dit. Wat sê jy, Shay?
Nee, ek wil ook net noem, dis hoekom ek aan die begin gesê het, elke gesprek met hierdie eystervrou.
Yes.
Kingdom warrior woman. Jy leer altyd.
Yes.
Jy leer altyd. Mense, Wilma is hier nie vir 'n show nie. Sy is hier vir ons as die gemeenskap. Sy is hier vir Heidedal. Maak gebruik van haar dienste. Sy doen dit vrywilliglik.
Yes.
Dit wil sê, dit kom met haar hart uit, met alle liefde. Maar Wilma, een vraag. Ek hoor nou van alles en so. Ek meen 'n mens kan so emosioneel betrokke raak in hierdie groep. How do you take care of yourself?
Yes. Met al dit.
And that's a very good question. And what I've learned when I started this voluntary work that I'm doing, 2017, I had a colleague, her name was Corinne, may her soul rest in peace, she died in COVID. We used to, once a month, we would just meet up and debrief, you know, talking about our incidents and how you, as a counselor, because that's what I am at this office, how I digest and dissolve these issues, because it can become depressive. You know, it can become depressive. So I have a way of just disappearing. You know, I would disappear to a place whereby I'm not known. Yes, where I'm not known, and I would just go and spend, even if it's 2 weeks, you know, just to debrief myself, to reconnect again, to energize myself, because to deal with social issues, with people's emotions, you yourself get affected as a counselor. Because what we see and what we experience, sometimes it's beyond your capacity. And not having a way of dealing with that, it would affect you at the end of the day. So I would just disappear and just go and offload and then try and come back, you know, empty, so that I can have space again to deal with it. And I've got a great support structure, I can put it that way. A person that listens. You know, when sometimes you just need that person that listens. You know, so that person will just say, You know, so
And sometimes we just need that.
yeah, that's all we need, you know. So fortunately, I've got that person that listens. So it's one of the ways also that I can say, hey man, this day was like this. So I'm sure that person once we can go our separate ways or whatever, he will write a book and say, the things that I've heard from this woman. But yes, it's very important. Every person, I would recommend therapy to every single person that is alive, that is breathing, because we are going through a lot of things. As a country, as an individual, as a community, we are going through stuff. And we need to educate one another on how are we relieving ourselves, because it's needed. You know, we need, when myself, I was a gender-based violence survivor. I'm a survivor, I'm not a victim.
Yes.
So when I faced my journey, because now you have to face those deep things that you have kept over the years. We were taught about a bucket system, that in life you walk a journey, you're carrying around your bucket, and you pick up things and you put it in your bucket. You pick up your finances, it's your family, it's your work, it's a lot of things that you put in your bucket. Everything you put in the bucket and you're carrying it. Remember, I'm 41 years old, so imagine how many bricks I have in my bucket. So now you have to learn to come to a point to say, okay, now this bucket feels a little bit heavy. Let me put it down. Let me take out some of the things.
Yes.
And that's how you read. That's how you offload. It's very important to offload.
Yeah, it's
Because now we wouldn't have personalities that when they wake up in the morning dan sê ons, oh, sy het van die verkeerde kant van die bed opgestaan. So there's no such thing as ons het van aan die verkeerde kant van die bed opgestaan. Jy moet die bed moet net 'n bed is en jy staan net op die regte kant staan jy op. So we have to deal with those matters. It's things that's needed. People don't know the importance of utilizing psychologists, psychiatrists, because it's not all therapy that needs you to take medication.
True.
We have a biofeedback therapy that I went through. I had to go and talk my issues because I kept everything to myself. So I had to go through that. My psychiatrist recommended that. They know what to recommend for you. You know, we just need to go to them and use them. You know? And my psychiatrist said to me, no, Wilma, you need biofeedback therapy. You need to talk. And he referred me to counselors. And I went to those occupational therapists. I was at Woodlands for a good 8 weeks. And when I came back, I was revived, I was renewed, I could face the world. And one thing, really, don't care what people say about you. It's not about them, it's about yourself.
And don't ever lose yourself.
Never lose yourself in the process. Because you always live according to people's opinion. I don't do that. I have a purpose that was given to me by God, and I'm gonna live my purpose. And I won't be like the next person. Charlene, you're the queen of the castle, so why not?
Why not?
But you should wake up every morning. When you wake up, you say thank you. That's the first thing that you do. You wake up with a good spirit. You tell yourself, I teach my daughter that. I tell her every time, when you look yourself in the mirror, tell yourself,
you're beautiful.
I'm beautiful. I have a beautiful soul.
You know.
And I'm going to make this day the best day of my life. Tell that to yourself every day and look yourself in the mirror.
You know, that's what I tell my daughter. My daughter just turned 21 recently, and she's as dark as that top of yours. And I always tell her, you know, you're a diamond, a black diamond. Have you ever seen a black diamond? It's rare.
It's rare.
As jy oral wat jy 'n swart diamant gaan kry. Nou sê ek vir as jy daar stap in die straat en so swart soos wat jy daar is, people must see that here comes a giant. So fortunately we gave her the nickname Simba when she was still young. That kid rose, you know, she rose. Everything she attempts, she rose with it. So that's how we should raise our girl children. Raise them with confidence, self-esteem. You know, the journey that I walked, it took a lot for me to get my self-esteem back, because life will hit you, it will hit you, it will knock you down. So for you to get up, don't even look at the next person, because you will never get up.
Exactly.
Because now you're going to contemplate and say, but they saw me falling. Should I get up or not? So live your life according to what God has created you to be. Live His purpose. That's it. God didn't create us to be the same.
Exactly.
Because then
Yeah,
we wouldn't give flavor to life. You know, I always tell people that no, the way God created me, I take charge of my body.
Yes.
I take charge of the way I walk. I take charge of the way I look.
Oh, yes.
And whether you have your opinion, it's yours and it will stay yours.
Yes.
So, chubby girls are in, girls. Chubby girls are in. They're the in thing. They're the in thing. You know, when I entered Miss South Africa Plus Size World 2021, 2022, I had a lot of procrastination about this whole thing. Jy sien maar Wilma jy's van Heidelberg. Jy's bietjie asvallerig. Gaan die mense vir jou kyk. Jy weet, hoe diaries gaan wees, hoe nee, dinetjie hoe beter. You know, but it was a confidence booster for me, you know, walking that stage to say that, yeah, you have it, girl. So there's so much that we can motivate one another with.
Exactly.
Except for
And even motivate yourself.
even motivate yourself, you know, because that's how you will survive things. What people say around you, about you, wouldn't matter anymore because you have a goal and you are and a purpose. You want to get there. And reaching top 10 in the whole of South Africa was a great achievement for me. I didn't win, but it was a great achievement.
Yes.
And with the work that I'm doing, I received Best Humanitarian Award for that also. So people who talk negative about people from Heidelberg, well, there's so much gold in Heidelberg. And we are the gold.
Yes.
We just need to discover one another.
Exactly.
We just need to discover one another and boost one another with whatever you are doing. You know, support one another and see, because here in Heidelberg there's so much talent. You know, there's gifted people that they walk around with these gifts, but they don't know how to explore. You know, so
Maar die mense, dis die hartseer net van dit is soveel mense druk mekaar af, né? En
definitely.
vroumense druk mekaar af.
exactly, yes.
En ons moet net eenvoudig begin wegbeweeg daarvan.
Ja.
Ja, Charlene het geval of whatever.
Ja, maar
Klomp vroue kom en tel haar op.
tel haar op.
man.
Dit is belangrik.
Tel haar op.
Yes, dis wat ons
Dit is
nodig
altyd
het.
'n wortel tot 'n saak in enige iemand se lewe.
Wat is?
Dinge gebeur nie sommer maar net nie.
Ja, dinge gebeur nie
correct.
sommer net nie. Ja.
And on that note, dan gaan ik zomaar invallen bij Wilma. I want to say to all the skinny girls, we still rock. We are still Barbies. We still Barbie dolls here. And the Barbie dolls still sell. Hello. Hello. We still here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it was a good one. If we're going to keep on talking with this, ladies, we're going to stay here the whole night. We're going to stay here the whole night because there's so much that we can inspire each other with, educate each other with. But this is the real talk, so nothing ends here. We will definitely see you next week. Don't forget to go and like and share on our page. We have Wilma here. You will see the rest on the other things that she didn't inform you with. You can go and view it on our page, Real Talk with
Charlene,
Kim,
and Feroza. And we will see you guys next week, same time, same place. Ciao.